Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. This is going to be a quick video. I wanted to show a couple of things before I start opening the supplies up or like taking off the packaging for the kitchen stuff and cleaning it before using it. There are ingredients that I purchased as well as fabrics today. Um, I felt like this would be a good time to make a cake for myself. I'm making another Medivik, the honey cake. So delicious and well received, so I wanted to make another one. Um, Hopefully I could finish the cake and then be able to eat some of it before I go to bed because I am starting it late. And a lot of the time goes to setting the cake in the fridge. So I'll see. Um, it's mainly for the cake to absorb the frosting. So um, it's definitely worth it. And I do have my motanka. I worked on some of the elements of that outfit. I have some ways to go, so I'll show my motanka and a finished knitted project. I I'll get the kitchen supplies first, and um, I went to IKEA today because I tried finding one of the kitchen items and I didn't find it in some of the stores that I would go to, and I didn't want to go to like a gourmet kitchen type of store. So I felt like IKEA has so many items there and they're not super expensive, and I like there's a sign that was saying to shop consciously, which is a good reminder for myself because if you're going to get something, shopping with intention and making sure that the item gets its full use is such a benefit. So I'm going to get this stuff. Hopefully this isn't too shiny and loud, so sorry. But we'll get the stuff out. I did get this bag at IKEA because I forgot that they don't have bags and I didn't want to look like I was stealing this stuff. So I got the small bag because I felt like I would probably use it more than the larger ones. Just because the larger ones don't have a zipper and I feel like they're either for a lot of stuff or large items, or maybe I'm thinking awkwardly large items, maybe like um, panels or something that it wouldn't fit in a like a regular shopping bag. And so I feel like it could be meant for those types of items. I I do like this one. Just put it here for now. So the two items that I was looking for and I purchased, and I'm super happy that I found both the items, are the cake mold cutter. One of them's the cake mold cutter. I don't know if I'm going to say it correctly, the tart box. And this piece here, it'll um expands, so it's 4 to 11 and 3/4 um for the size of this. So I thought that that was like so innovative and convenient have to just have one of these. I'm sorry if this keeps shining. I didn't realize that it was doing that. Um, duh. But it is so great because if you want it to be, if you're making something different and you'll want something else, a different size, you don't have to have a whole bunch of them. Although you could probably store them within each other. This is super nice. It looks like it says millimeters and inches. That's the only sign I see. I don't know if it'll show any other information once I move this stuff. But um I I just felt like this is something that once I move, um I will probably take it with me just because there's some kitchen supplies that I really like. A lot of my well, all of my kitchen supplies are in my storage unit. So, I do have the baking stuff that I would like to get at some point. So, at some point. And then the other item that I got is the 5 watt Vacad. So, um, sorry. They're the cookie cutters, and they come in, the smallest is 1 1/4, then 2, then 2 3/4, 3 1/2, and 4 1/4. And I got these because I wanted to use them for the Veroniki, and I usually use a cup, which has worked for the past couple of times, but I really have to like put muscle into it. I know it shouldn't be that tedious, but I don't know. I feel like I had to try more to have it go through the dough, because the dough still has like the kind of elasticity to it and it doesn't want to cut through. But I really wanted the ones that are the not the ones that have like the teeth at the bottom of them when you're cutting it, because I saw some of like the ones that were being sold, not there, but in general, they had the teeth. Um, I just wanted it to cut through and be a circle. That's it. So I feel like that it would be the third one that I would probably, sorry, that I would probably use. And I'll want to hold on to these two. And then I went to the um, quilting shop, and I was like, I'll get some fancy fabric to celebrate. Did I say why I was celebrating? So I felt like it was a good time to treat myself, because it was like the end of that part of the course because it's like pharmacy technician 101, 102, 103, 104, that type of thing. So it was the end of the um, 103, and um, now it gets more into compounding, and I'm excited because um, that's what I mainly did at my last job for non-sterile compounding. We're going to start with sterile compounding. So um, we'll get to do the injections and the um, different types of sterile compounding. So that would be things that would be more like internal, but it wouldn't be the nose or it wouldn't be like the ears. It could be um, other parts of your body that are considered sterile. Like you wouldn't use eardrops in your eye, but you could use eye drops in your ear. I don't know, like a specific product that you would do that exchange because the ears aren't sterile, but the eyes are sterile. So, I'm excited to do those things, and for non-sterile, I've done the capsules, creams, suppositories, nasal spray for specific ingredients, active ingredients, and our rapid dissolving tablets, troches. So super exciting. Um, and I took my exam for this part of the course and I got an 100, and then for my final project and then another project that took time to do, I got hundreds on those, and then the drug quiz that I had, I got an 100 on that. So I was like, this calls for a celebration just for myself, and I'm not the only one that's going to be eating the cake, but I think my parents will have some because my dad was asking if I had any more cake. So I've only made that one recently. Um, so I went to the fabric store to get like the fancier fabric, and I got some back orders. So this was the first one that I saw, and when I saw it, I immediately was thinking, yes, this would be a fabric I would definitely use. Some of them I liked, for sure. There's a lot of them that I liked, but I was thinking, what would I use? Um, I did want to make another motanka, and I was thinking maybe like woodlands, and uh, I don't want to really specify, but like type of woodland animal type, like berry-ish thing going on with it. So I'm not sure if that's something that's usually done, but I was thinking maybe going into the oranges. And I was also thinking that about my favorite color recently, because for the past couple of years it has been green. I feel like green is still really up there and the other colors that I've had as favorite colors are still up there too. Um, I don't know, I don't pick green that much in the last couple of places that I've lived in. Right now I'm house sitting, but I had yellow in the rotation. I think in middle school that was my first favorite color that I have documented in my head, but um, I have had it as a favorite color at some point in my life, and it's more specific these days. I feel like because I've said it's kind of like a honey, or I was gonna say it's like wheat, but it's actually honey shade that I was going for because it's not necessarily rust, but it does have like those type of warm undertones to it that are like brought out. Are they the undertones? Um, but either way, it just is like a honey color, and I really enjoy that shade right now. But I also love the shade of wheat. So it's like around that color. Um, kind of, I'm thinking about the color. Um, I don't know if you would call it the color wheel, but it's when you want to customize a color on something, maybe your um, like font, and sometimes they give you, or like PowerPoint, I think, does this, where you could, I don't know if PowerPoint does it. I saw it somewhere, but I don't remember. Where you like go to different areas of that, of like the rainbow and see what shade, like you click on a specific area and then it'll pop up to like what you clicked on. So it's um I forget where I was going with that, but uh maybe you can think about what I said before. But I think that's going to be the next theme. Um, I did get an orange. I I think this is my favorite, and I love floral prints. I feel like towards the beginning I would have to tell myself to stop getting all floral prints because I wanted to mix it with other things. Then eventually I did, but I still go for a lot of them. So this one is, it has like a folk tone to it, and it's soft. It's not like super in your face orange, although I do like orange too. So I think the colors are nice because it's like soft, like even the greens in here for the leaves are soft. Um, then this one, I just really wanted to get it because we're going to like maybe a woodland theme. There's leaves, but there's a frog that's playing an instrument. And I was like, for sure that this is one that I really want to get. This one I actually have another specific plan for, and I am like, I was thinking about putting it down, but at the same time, it's just like, this is the only one that you actually have like an official specific plan for, so maybe just get this one because you actually know what you're doing with it. So I felt like this was like, it still reigns strong with me. I feel like not old Adrian, but Adrian that loves all of those mystical things. I still love mystical things. I just tend to go through different artistic visions. I was talking to my friend today, and it's I always get to places so late because like sometimes I'm sleeping, but this time I was actually awake and I was on the phone with my friend for a long time, and I was telling her that like artists have really aggressive personalities, and she's like, yeah, for sure. And because I just like think like, oh my, like so intense with my art, I have to do it for my art, or this can't be like this because it's not my artistic vision, type of thing. I'm like, I don't know if I come out like that, but um, it's what I've been thinking. So I love the purples in here. I wanted to make this into a deck bag, and I feel like it's fitting for one of the decks that I used recently. I think I'm gonna do it for the Watcher Angel, but I'm not. I think that's gonna. It's the only one that's coming up in my head because I did want to make a deck bag for it. So these are the fabrics that I got, and luckily I can try different ones and see. There's of course a sale section. Again, it is one of the, well, it's also because like um well, I don't know. I'm not gonna make all of those assumptions, but um I I saw that there were some sales, but one yard for like their sale items were like $8. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe one day I might buy one. There's also other things to get to. I mean, I don't know, it might all be the $8, but I'll see. Because I don't need large quantities right now for the stuff that I'm doing. But these were definitely a treat for me. And I still like the cheaper fabrics too. Um, and I use a lot of them, and I don't mind using them. So maybe I would, well, what I feel like would depend on what the project is too, and other variables, because I get a lot of, a little different, but I get a lot of sale yarn and try different types of yarn. I'm mainly using Ukrainian yarn right now, and that's one of the most um, affordable ones that I've used, and has definitely become a favorite, especially for this area. I went into the car after class yesterday, and I've never been in a hotter car. I should have put the screen cover on. It didn't come to mind, and it was only 1 o'clock. So I was like, my butt is really hot right now, and it was steaming. Um, so definitely for sure, I'll keep that in mind for the next couple of times well, not next couple of times, like whenever I need to put the um, screen cover, window cover, I'll do that. So, um, this here, before I show the projects, I did go to one of the Eastern European markets. I have, one of them is near my um, campus, so I did go there yesterday, but I actually went to the Bulgarian market today because it was near IKEA, and I'm not usually in that area, so I sometimes think about going, but it's a little further out. Um, but I I got there like 5 minutes till closing. Like I tend to do that for a lot of places or in general because I leave the house later than maybe I could. and I got like a blueberry wafer, and my goodness, I was happy that I got it because I was actually gonna get some motanka, but I couldn't find it. And I tried looking in the same area that I found it in and went up and down the aisle to see in the other aisles, but they were closing and I didn't want to be just there when they were about to close. So I got this blueberry wafer bar, and it's always like when you get one of them, you're just like thinking, ah, I should have got two of them, but they're closing, so I didn't go back in. I also got a drink, so I got another one of these, just a different flavor. Um, and I do really like this flavor. So great snack because I didn't eat. I'll probably do some multitasking in the kitchen while I prepare stuff for the cake and then get a couple bites in of eating regular food. I Yeah, for it being like 9:30 and not eating yet, but I also have um like I sleep at weird times. Um and I can sleep like if it's a really loud place, I don't have like a problem falling asleep in places. Um that's the opposite of insomnia. I feel like, or maybe it's a type of sleep um thing where you overly sleep instead of not getting enough sleep, because I could sleep for like most of the day and I could wake up and then be like, "Ugh, I could just sleep more." And so it tends to be what it is. So maybe like I've been trying to adjust my sleep schedule um to where I at least am awake during some parts of the day. It's like not only on the day that I actually have to leave the house. Um, I do have to go to the CPR certification appointment on Monday though, and then I have class Wednesday. But I have like the other assignments, reading, lectures, quizzes, exams that you take online too. But I think it's like a great combination for somebody that doesn't really like showing up to class. I don't mind going to class when it's one day a week, but if you were telling me to go to class like 4 days a week, I feel like I wouldn't really want to. So, um, I went to the European market near the campus, and sorry for the bag. This is another item where I got two items in here that I kept it in the bag and you'll why. One of the items is an item that I've been looking for and I found. I picked it up because I have a plan to start a sourdough starter. And I picked up something else. So um, is this rum flavor, sugar with artificial rum flavor. So I did want to get this because I saw some recipes that called for like rum flavoring and I was curious about trying that. And then I got um, the rye flour, and I have been in many different supermarkets and I haven't seen it in any other place but this place. And well, there was one on the East Coast that I saw rye flour, but other than that, I've I haven't seen rye flour. There might be some in the net cost market. They don't have net cost market on the West Coast, or at least in this area. Net cost market is like a European market. I don't know if it's Eastern European, but it's definitely a European market. So maybe it could be there. But I usually, well, I would have to cross the bridge to like get to the store. Or if I don't cross the bridge, I could go around, but then it takes like almost twice as long to like get there where I was I was for a while. So I got this rye flour. It was the only one, and um, I am gonna start the rice starter. It's made in Ukraine, so that's fun. And you could use it for bread, pies, desserts, pancakes. No, no impurities and preservatives. Bread flour, whole grain. So I'm going to use this, and then I'm going to bring everything down. Well, the stuff for the kitchen. And then for the projects, I'll quickly show my finished project here. This is the Home Sweet Home bag, and I really love this. I was thinking I might cast on another hat. There was a sale for the exact hat that I wanted to knit because my brain just doesn't want to do other things in terms of like for like a different hat or using the yarn for something else. Like it's this specifically for me. Um, and since it's buy one get one free, it looks like for the cheaper pattern for the knitwear designer, I feel like I'm gonna get it and then cast on the hat using the possum yarn that I was going to use for another cowl, but something just wants me to just knit on the hat. Like I don't want to defy those um intentions because I feel like there's something that just is saying knit the hat with it. And it's special yarn. I'll probably have a little left over of the blue, but at least it's going towards a project that I'm actually going to use. Because sometimes, like, you try to save the yarn for something, especially if it's a larger quantity, but now I'm using yarn for things like, if it's a super large quantity, I try to keep it for like a garment, but sometimes I like take some of it here and there just because I know how much I would love to have the finished product, and um, it makes it worth it for like using the yarn. So it's going to be the same color palette, but a little different shades. I really love the way that this turned out. Um, it was definitely a new experience doing the Italian bind off. So it wasn't until like maybe three-fourths of the way in where I was really seeing the full sequence of it and things to look out for to make sure you're going in the right track, because at some points I felt that I didn't see or catch that the sequence was off until um, a couple of knit and pearls in. I just say knit and pearls because it will show it's almost like an extension of those knit and pearls. So I just kept going, but honestly, I'm super pleased with it and I'm happy that I started to do the Italian bind off because it is like a clean finish. And for the Olympian sweater, since it's the bottom up, I feel like I will do the Italian bind up for the finishing areas, since it won't be nearly as long as doing the bottom of the body. So I will think about what I'm going to put in here, but I'm just happy that it's complete, and I might make it a bag. I'm not sure yet, but I don't have enough blue. I literally used the last of it, but I do have yellow. So this is how much blue I have left. And, well, I have this too, but I was going to use it for the motanka. So, um, I don't think I'm going to block it because of the cotton. I feel like it'll stretch more than what I need it to. If I do, I might just sprinkle it a little bit to smooth out the yarn, but other than that, I feel like it turned out um, pretty precious, so I'm happy about that. Now I'll show the tanka. I'll put this with where the other fabrics are, and I love the way that the motanka is coming out. So this is what I have so far. I have this here because this is what I was thinking about with the finishing for this area for the top. I didn't cut the, is it a cloak? Um, so I like that it's like I folded it and it has the thickness that I'm looking for. So I feel like I'm gonna do that. The skirt is a little big, but that's what I was expecting because I am going to add a apron area here. It's inside out now. I'm working on it. I feel like for the next Botenka, I will definitely sew less because that's part of the incentive of them. I mainly tried to stick to hand sewing. I will say, like, I ended up using the machine for this area just because me with still sewing and stuff going inside out or right side out, and by the time I finished hand sewing um, the circle skirt or the handkerchief skirt, there wasn't like a hole for the skirt area, so it was kind of just um, fabric sewed together, so I undid it. The thing with this fabric is that it frayed so much, like you could just take like we'll pull on it and a whole like clump of the strands um or the thread would come out. So, and that would happen a lot when it would get like agitated when I would move the fabric around to like go to different sections to sew it. So I decided to um, use the machine for that, but the intention was definitely there to sew it by hand at least. I did end up hand sewing the top part of it, so that worked, and I'm finishing this. As I said for the next one, I feel like I'm going to just lean into doing more rolling and not sewing as much because it's like said that you could make these without sewing. So maybe I'll have other ideas to make the motanka, but I feel like it's coming around super well, super nicely. I think I'm gonna put the flower on, maybe on the skirt. I'm not, or like where the waist is, I'm thinking, but I'll see. So I'll start to bring the stuff downstairs so I could make the cake, and I'll hopefully eat some of it if I do make the whole cake tonight and not just one part or the other. Um, I am wearing one of my favorite shirts. It's like the butterfly shirt. I say favorite, I don't wear it that often anymore, but I do have two of them. So one of them I think gets worn the more worn than the other one. But once I like an article of clothing, I tend to use it until I can't use it anymore. So luckily there's two. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in another video. Bye.